Protest about 2 dozen Weston Elementary School kids in Ripon skipped class on Wednesday, demanding the Ripon Unified School District remove what they believe is a cancer-causing agent. What do you want the school to do?
Take down that cell tower.
Having a cell phone tower on a school ground, in 2011 it was classified as a known carcinogen, so that tells me that it shouldn't be around our children.
Kelly Prime's 11-year-old son, Kyle, was diagnosed with cancer last year.
I had a worm's tumor in my left kidney.
And Monica Ferruli's 10-year-old son, Mason, was diagnosed 6 months later.
I had brain cancer.
It's devastating. It's a battle that no parent wants to watch their child go through.
Oh, it was complete devastation.
Both mothers believe the radiation from the communications tower, which was installed in 2009 on the school's campus, may be the reason their sons got sick.
It's there. It's very, very close to the buildings. The kids are there, 6-7 hours a day.
The American Cancer Society says there is very little evidence that these towers cause cancer. Even so, Ferruli says she has demanded answers from the school district, only to remain in the dark.
They don't know when it's tested, what the last radiation levels ever tested, how often it's tested.
We called, even showed up to the superintendent's office, but administrators told us she wasn't available. No one would comment. Now both boys are cancer-free, but their parents, who are fighting to keep it that way, say they might have to transfer their kids to a different school for their health.
At this point, we just have to eliminate any possible factors that could cause it to come back.
Their world changed.
Meeting.
He was removed from school. He was removed from all of his friends. He missed out on the entire year of school.
Families raising concerns about a cell phone tower at Weston Elementary School where 2 students have been diagnosed with cancer.
Convince the school district to take it down.
Mason Ferruli is in 6th grade and has attended Weston since kindergarten. He spent the first half of the year battling a rare brain tumor, undergoing a 14-hour surgery to remove it.
It was pretty rough.
Doctors can't say what caused his brain cancer. According to the American Cancer Society, research is inconclusive on whether cell phones and cell towers are linked to cancer.
There's not enough research to say it is or it's not, so why have our children be the experiment that discovers that it is later on?
Joe and Kelly Prime's son Kyle also developed cancer while going to school there.
And it's not proven either way, and we don't understand why you would gamble with children's health.
Now thousands of parents and community members have signed a petition to remove the tower.
We started a petition approximately a month ago, and we received over 3,300 signatures.
Parents say the money the school district gets from having the tower on campus isn't worth any potential risk, even if the health impacts of wireless radiation is still uncertain.
We just want them to be open-minded and hear what we're saying.
School board members originally told us they would not be commenting tonight, but they just released a statement saying they appreciate the family's comments and they have already started and will continue to look into the issue. Reporting from Ripon, Natalie Brunel, KCRA 3 News.
Outrage tonight after a 4th child is diagnosed with cancer at a San Joaquin elementary school, and parents believe it's because of radiation caused by a cell tower at the school.
News tonight, CBS 13's Jen McGraw is live in Ripon with what the school is now saying. Jen?
Yeah, it's become such a point of contention that more than 200 students stayed home from school yesterday in protest, and their parents went before the school board demanding answers and that they take precaution. Cell phone towers are spread throughout the community, but it's this particular one that parents say
Usually tell us it's 100% environmental, the type of tumor he has.
Monica Ferruli's son Mason was the 2nd child to be diagnosed with cancer in just 3 years at Weston Elementary. He was 10 years old and walked by this cell phone tower daily.
It's undescribable. It's really tough.
That's one of the hardest things I've been through.
Joe Prime's son Kyle was the first, diagnosed with kidney cancer in 2016, and 2 more kids were diagnosed this year.
It just seems like a coincidence is no longer a reason for all this illness.
They believe it's this cell phone tower that's harming their kids.
These kids shouldn't be guinea pigs, and we shouldn't be we shouldn't be taking chances with the children's lives.
The district has had several tests done saying the tower is safe and meets federal regulations. But some families weren't convinced and hired an expert.
I wouldn't send my kids there at all. It absolutely is dangerous.
Eric Windheim is an electromagnetic radiation specialist and found levels far higher than the district's expert.
Children that are still developing and their cells are still dividing is the worst possible time of their life to be exposed.
He says it's not just a cell tower, it transmits wireless frequencies.
Instead of only going 300 yards like regular Wi-Fi, WiMAX can go 30 miles.
Parents want the mast removed, but the district won't budge. The district has sent plenty of letters to those parents. Those parents tell me that this fight is far from over.
And we'll follow.
The big game changer is that 5G will use much higher frequency bands than previously thought viable for mobile broadband and other applications. Such millimeter wave signals have physical properties that are both a limitation and a strength. They tend to travel best in narrow and straight lines, and they do not go through physical objects as well. But brilliant engineers have developed new antennas that can aim and amplify signals. Now, to make this work, the 5G build-out is going to be very infrastructure intensive, requiring massive deployment of small cells. I'm confident that the actions will lead to a cornucopia of unanticipated, innovative uses and will generate tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important, because it means that U.S. companies will be the first out of the gate. And that is why 5G is a national priority. And stay out of the way of technological development. Unlike some countries, we do not believe that we should spend the next couple of years studying what 5G should be or how it should operate. The future has a way of inventing itself. Turning innovators loose is far preferable to expecting committees and regulators to define the future. We won't wait for the standards. We're already seeing the industry gearing up to seize this opportunity. Verizon and AT&T tell us they'll begin deploying 5G trials in 2017, and the first commercial deployments they're talking about are expected in 2020. And we're not done. As part of our July 14 action, we also plan to ask for comments on opening up other high-frequency bands. Many of the high-frequency bands that we will make available for 5G currently have some satellite users, as well as some Defense Department applications, or at least the possibility of future satellite and defense users. This means sharing will be required between satellite and terrestrial wireless, an issue that is especially relevant in the 28 gigahertz band. But if anyone tells you that they know the details of what 5G is going to become, run the other way. If something can be connected, it will be connected. Hundreds of billions of microchips connected in products from pill bottles to plant waterers. We must reject the notion that the 5G future will be the sole provenance of urban areas. The 5G revolution will touch all corners of our country. A lot more antenna siting decisions by local governments, and tightened our shot clock for siting applications in determining how we fulfill this national priority. You can be sure of only one thing. The biggest Internet of Things application has yet to be imagined. Tens of billions of dollars in economic activity. And that's damn important. Activity. And that's damn important.
Sir, needn't egg me on this one. Moments ago, I was attempting to talk to some people who came to attend the meeting and have concerns about radiation and 5G. And one of your security force intervened, told the guy he couldn't show me the t-shirt that he had wished to display at the meeting, forced him to put it away, and confiscated my FCC issued ID. Is this consonant with the discussion that ought to be taking place here, and what's your reaction to this action by your staff?
I've just heard about it for the first time, Todd. I mean, obviously this is an open meeting, and I'm sure that if your credentials have been mistakenly taken, you will get them back. But there's a responsibility for everyone. Spectrum Frontiers Order, the United States becomes the first country in the world to identify and open up vast amounts of high-frequency spectrum for 5G networks and applications. This is the most significant step yet. Proceeding is dealing with that issue.
Hey Tom, with the
Lydia.
Study showing wireless causes cancer subthermally, how can you proceed with more wireless expansion with our 6D standards only recognizing thermal effects, ignoring thousands of studies showing cancerous effects, neurological effects, reproductive harm?
Lydia, do you have a question?
I do have a question, Mr.
Okay, I'll answer your question, Lydia.
Lydia Bayou, Bloomberg BNA.
I love this tool. My favorite one. It's a Cornet ED88T electrosmog meter. And right now it makes me able to hear the electromagnetic field EMF environment in this room. Right now it's telling me two things. First, good news, there's no cell tower near this place because it would have sounded like high-pitched laser beams, basically. So, good thing. There's one Verizon tower at 1 kilometer from here. So we're in a fairly isolated area. However, if you were in downtown San Diego, you would be exposed to 13 towers in 1 square kilometer. Number two, it's telling me that you guys love your smartphones. Seriously. And I'm not telling you this today to make you run away in fear, but to make you aware that even though we cannot hear, see, or even feel EMFs from 3G, 4G technology, it doesn't mean that it's not real. It's very real for people suffering from something called EHS, electro-hypersensitivity. That's 3% of the population. And I'm talking about debilitating kind of Better Call Saul style symptoms like nervous system disorders, anxiety, insomnia, tinnitus, you name it. These people couldn't stand in this room right now with these levels. We're at about 1 volt per meter right now. And building biologists and people from the European Academy of Environmental Medicine are telling them to stay below 0.02 at all times so they can manage their symptoms. So it's not good for them. And there's also 35% of the population, believe it or not, that's affected from mild to moderate symptoms of EHS. And these symptoms get worse if you live within 500 meters of one single tower. The main problem here is that the mainstream doesn't know these things, doesn't recognize that these effects are real. And we're moving forward to go to 5G, the next wireless revolution. I'm talking about a revolution that's even bigger than the iPhone was a couple of years back. Very exciting. 10 to 1,000 times the speed, widespread use of autonomous cars. Now, to make that happen, we're going to have to change how we do things because this is a lot of speed. So we have to support 5G by introducing something called small cells. It means that you're going to have small clusters of cell phone towers all over the place at every 2 to 10 homes in residential areas. So the levels are going to increase and the EHS is going to increase. Now the question is, are these effects exactly how is that going to affect our health? The truth is, I could tell you and do some good fear mongering right here and tell you that it's basically 5G rollout is in next 2012, but in reality there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. We don't even know when 5G is going to be rolled out. Some say 2020, 2025, even the industry itself doesn't know. Second thing that we don't know is, well, what are the health effects that we can expect from this kind of technology? And all cell phone towers in downtown Houston right now as we speak, there's 26 antennas, double San Diego, because they're testing 5G, 26 per square kilometer. So the early studies are showing that millimeter waves, that's the new frequencies that 5G will use, 30 to 60 gigahertz. That's way higher than the microwave that we have at the moment, just 1 to 3 gigahertz. They will affect surfaces way more. This is very high power, very short distance, hence the clusters of antennas, and we might see diseases of the skin, eyes, and ears, but it's really, the studies are too early to tell. So I asked myself the question as an investigative health journalist, what can we do really about it? Because it's kind of inevitable, right? Well, the number one step that you have to keep in mind is you have to educate your patients to reduce their EMF exposure today. Because the more time that they spend in